Today, I'm going to speak to you about citizens, you and I, and all the people who are taking part in government, which years ago we didn't seem to do that. We have a movement today that is unlike any other than the fact that 234 years ago we had a similar movement within our new government to be founded. Many years ago, I heard my parents talking about voting and why they did this. And my first response as a very little boy, and I drove people crazy about it, I used to always ask why, why not? And so my parents told me why they voted. Actually, when I left, I still really didn't understand, so I always fell back on my grandfather, who took a lot of time with me. He didn't seem to mind my whys and why not so much as most people did. And he told me the greatest gift that was given to us by our founding fathers was our right to vote. Every person in this country, a citizen, could vote. And the person that actually did that for us was James Madison, one of the founding fathers within our organization many years ago. I asked my grandfather, because I didn't know totally what the issue of founding fathers were, and I said to him, does he come into the store? My grandfather laughed a little and he says, no, he doesn't, but actually there's many people who come to the store who believe like he did, and so thankful what he did for all of us. And he said that about 160 years ago, this man helped us and was part of the American dream of who we are today. In fact, his wife, Abigail Madison, was instrumental when the British were burning all of Washington, D.C. area, that she ran, I guess, down through the streets or something and entered, I'm not sure what it was called, the White House at that time, but entered the building while it was starting on fire, and she removed the the painting of Washington, George Washington, our first president. Quite a brave thing. So what I started doing, I started really thinking what my grandfather's talking about, the importance of this issue of voting, and I still didn't know all about it. So the first thing I did is when anyone came into the store, I asked them, did they vote? Little 6-7-year-old boy talking to people about voting who didn't really know what he was really talking about, but I told everybody to go and vote. And then I did one other thing. When my grandfather helped me load up my wagon with burlap, he poured water on the burlap and kept the vegetables. I had a lot of vegetables in there. And I'd go up and down all the streets, miles around, knocking on doors, giving people vegetables and telling them, did you vote? And so I think today if I did something like that, or today people would say that that's kind of a radical approach, because the word radical is so loosely used today. It's totally a meaningless statement today, because radicals don't do these things, and they don't even understand what a radical is. So the issue came up that the only radical that we had actually occurred, excuse me, back in when our country was founded. At the beginning, we have England the King George III didn't really like anything we wanted to do, or he just ignored us and just went about the idea. Basically, King George wanted to do is to do almost what's happening today, exactly what's happening today. He wanted to control every human in America to his will. He wanted them to do exactly what he said when he did, and so on that. But and where we have that same issue going on today as we see what's happening in this country. The idea of government taking control of everything we do and say. And we're losing basically the idea of the ideas that our founding gave us. They gave it to us freely. And you have to also, this is something important. When a gift is given, is there anything attached to the gift that says you're going to give something in return? Now, if that's the type of gift it is, it's really not a good one. It doesn't come from the heart. And I can really believe that our founders, they gave us something that no other country in the world, even today, has. None. And we should, that's a treasure. Our documents, Declaration of Independence, Constitution, and our Bill of Rights. There's never been, and never will be, another person in any government form that has ever written such masterful words, simple words, that have such an impact and meaning on all of our lives. The issue of the American, and we hear people constantly talk about being an American, you know, and they huff and they puff and all this kind of stuff, and they use words and words and words, but you see, words are not the idea of being an American. Anybody can say those things. It's totally meaningless. What's really important in our country is the people who actually have deeds that show whom they are. In other words, do the deeds match what they say? Do they say what they mean? Do they follow through with the ideas of what they say? And the answer is resolving no, they do not. Our entire government today is so corrupt. It's beyond the pale. Personally, I say we get rid of all of them. We get rid of every single person there, and that may include all the judges as well, because they have a tendency to want to make laws in which these things are against the Constitution. We've had these things too long to understand. They should know that. They swore oaths. Now those oaths are meaningless to them? Yes, it is. And so we have to get back to the basics that we have been, and I think we're doing that today. I see people today, and I was so pleased to see these things where people are going out and they're meeting and talking about our government, how it's controlling our lives needlessly. If you leave the people alone, we will survive. If you destroy what we're doing, then our government destroys us, and we don't want that to happen. I'll leave that at the moment, and I'll come back and give you the rest of the story. That's called, and like really is becoming the never-ending story, but it's part of our cultural ideas of what a true American is by deeds. Thank you very much